One of the amazing capabilities in Databricks is the possibility of creating, inserting, and querying nested data structures using the Databricks SQL to obtain insight from your data without using the PySpark. So in this video, I'm going to show you how we can seamlessly create, insert, and query nested data structures. So let's get started. Now, in this case, we're going to use the serverless compute, not the all-purpose compute. So I'm going to come to the compute, and you can see this is actually dead for now. It's not on. So I'm going to come to the SQL editor. I can even come to the SQL warehouses, and I can see the serverless starter warehouse is turned on. So I'm going to click on this SQL editor, and I'm going to click on this plus sign to create a new query. Now, in the new query, we have this default name. So I can click on it. I can select all of this and give this a meaningful name. I'm going to call this one my SQL code. You can use whatever name you like. And once you're done, just press enter to commit. Now you can click on this kebab and you can see things such as file. This allows you to share, schedule, clone, rename, and so on and so forth. We have the edits and so on. Now we can always turn this off if you don't want to see the new SQL editor, but I love to have the new SQL editor. That's fine. Now we can go on and create our table. So I'm going to write create table statement, and I'm going to call this one sales data JSON. And once I'm done, open the bracket, press enter. Now we need the first column. This is going to be name, and I'm going to call this one string, put in a comma, and then we need the age, and I'm going to call this one integer and put in a comma, press enter. And then we need address. And for the address, we're going to use what is called struct. Now, the struct is a data type constructor which is required to create a structured data type that group multiple fields into a single entity. So for that, I'm going to just type in struct and make sure you select this one, press the tab key. And within that, we want to create a nested JSON called city. So this is going to be like a column name, and I'm going to use a colon, and I'm going to call this one a string, put in a comma, and we also need a state. So again, put in a single or a colon, and we're going to call this one a string. And then I'm going to come outside here and put in a comma. Now, make sure we have this angle brackets opening and the closing it, because this is like a key value piece. And I'm going to press enter. So we also want to create what's called the orders. So for the orders, I'm going to use what's called array. And for the array, I'm going to define again the struct. So select the struct. Now within that, I'm going to create what's called the order ID. So order underscore ID colon. I'm going to call this one string, press the tab key, comma, and then we need the products table. So product again, colon, and I'm going to call this one a string and comma, and then we need the amount. So I'm going to call this one amount, again, colon, and we're going to call this one int data type. So again, since we have the angle bracket here and here, we must have two on the side. So this is how we can easily create our table, okay? So I can put in a semicolon to terminate, and I can go on and select all of these, press Control Enter to run the create table statement. So we can see the table is now created. Now let's just see the structure of the table. So let's select star from sales underscore JSON or data.json, and I can select all of these, and let me just select this carefully and run the code. Now we're going to see we have the name, age, address, and orders for now. Now we're going to go ahead and insert some data into the newly created table. So I'm going to get rid of this, and I'm going to use this code. So we have this insert into sales data JSON value. So we have the first name, which is Alice, and the age is 28. And then for the struct, the data type constructor, we have the value for the city, and then we have the value for the state. And then for the array, that is the orders here, we have the struct again, and then we have the first transaction this person engaged, which is 001, and then the transaction is this laptop that she purchased, and the value is 1,200. And then we also have the struct. So this is like the second line, the second transaction. So this is going to be 002, and the product purchase is mouse, and the value is this. And then we have for the bulb, and so on and so forth. Now we can go on and select all of these and run the insert into statement. So press Control Enter to engage the commit. Amazing. So we can see number of affected rows is 20 and number inserted rows is 20. So we're going to go ahead and query the table. So I'm going to write a simple select and press enter. Now I need the name column, put in a comma. I need the age, put in a comma. And then we also need the address. Now don't forget we have the nested value in the address. We have the address dot city, and then we have the address dot state, similar to the orders dot order ID, product, and the amount. So I'm going to move that a little bit, and I'm going to call the address here dot city and put in a comma, and then we need the address dot state. Okay, I'm going to put in a comma. Now we're going to move to the order ID. So I'm just going to use an alias called 0 or O dot order underscore ID, put in a comma, and then we need the O dot, and then we want to call the product, and then put in a comma, and then we need the O dot amount of the product. So this is what we need to do. I can press enter, and then we're going to get that from our table, which is sales data JSON. I'm going to just move this down a little bit, and I'm going to come here. So I'm going to press enter and backspace. Now I'm going to use what's called the lateral view explode clause, which is a useful feature in Databricks SQL when dealing with nested data structure like arrays. So I'm going to call the lateral view, and I'm going to call the explode table valid function, which takes an array as an input and produce a new row for each element in our array. So that's going to be based on the orders column, and then we have this. So get rid of this. So we're just going to have this alias, and then we have this O that we define here. So I can select all of this code and press Control Enter to run the code. So let's see the results. Amazing. So we have the results. Now I'm going to move this up so that we can make sense of this. Now we can see we have 2 rows for Alice because Alice purchased 2 products, laptop, mouse, and this is order 1 and 2 respectively. And then for the Bob lives in Seattle, and then we can see the order ID 3 and 4. So he bought keyboard, monitor, and then we can see the sales amount. So this is how we can create, insert, and query a nested data structure in Database SQL. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, like, comment, share, and follow me for more videos. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.